Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 4 of Tony Talks Life. A bit of a forewarning, a heads up, if you will. This episode may be more melancholic in nature, but just know right off the bat, I'm just going to say it. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm dealing with it. However, the purpose of these vlogs, they're kind of like a digital diary for me in a way, as well as a way to both express myself for myself and maybe even to give some comfort to people who might be thinking or feeling a similar way. So, I don't even know how to really begin this because the topic I want to address is kind of it's a ongoing thought that I'm dealing with. I mean, you read the title, you know what I'm going to talk about. But before I get to that, I guess, yesterday was not a bad day until near the end. Everything was fine. I had my first work day of school, teacher work day. Set up my classroom for the most part. You can see pictures of it on my Instagram page, Watley Sensei. It's my teacher Instagram page. I'll probably maybe put a link to it in the description. So if you guys want to follow my adventures as a teacher via the lens of Instagram, you could go there. I created it because I was getting kind of not getting tired, but I felt really bad for people who follow my Black Critic Guy Instagram, seeing me post so much about being a teacher when the intention of the Black Critic Guy Instagram was meant as a both a personal and kind of a YouTube Instagram where I talk anime or I post things about anime or movies and things like that. And it seemed like my teacher mode was hijacking the Black Critic Guy moniker. Not only that, but I really didn't want my students following my Black Critic Guy page. I wanted them to follow a page that was made particularly, specifically, not particularly, specifically for them. So that's why I created the Watley Sensei page. So if you want to follow that, you can. And I actually posted on there recently. I posted pictures of my classroom. I also posted pictures and stories of the environmental club, which is one of the few clubs at the school that I advise. I actually advise 5 clubs. It used to be 6, but I kept it down to 5. Those 5 clubs are the Class of 2024 Student Council, the Environmental Club. Today, I'm actually going to see 2 of them, which the first one I'm going to see is the Rainbow Family, which is an LGBT club. Then there's the Academic Challenge Bowl. I wouldn't say it's a club, but it's more like a team. And I'm seeing them later on today as well. And then finally, a dance group known as Uprising. Now, I haven't heard from Uprising yet, so I don't know if I actually will be their advisor or at least a co advisor this year. We'll have to wait and see. If they have to ask me first. And I remember I was talking to a friend of mine when we went to Applebee's tonight or last night, which is funny. That was the second time in a row I went to Applebee's. Maybe tonight will be a third night. Who knows? But I remember telling him, man, I really love my kids. I love them to death. I love them like a father would love his children. And I kind of am living vicariously through them as a father figure. Because, and I don't know if I've said this on this channel. I don't even know if I said it in my other channel, but to kind of get deep a little bit, as if I haven't gone deep on this in this vlog series already. My biggest dream, guys, my biggest dream is not to be famous. It's not money. It's not girls. I want to be a father. That's my biggest dream. I want to raise a child from birth to 18 years old, breaking into adulthood. I want to see their highs. I want to see their lows. I want to be there for the good times. I want to be there for when they hate me. I want to carry them. I want to baby them. I want to scold them. I want to see them experience life and joy. I've always been someone that wants to see happiness in others outside of myself, which I get is it is a problem because I should experience happiness too. But the happiness that I see in others tends to always bring me joy. And there wouldn't be a sweeter joy in the world than to see your own child, someone that you created and saw their progress through 18 years of their life and to reach the pinnacle of success. That's my biggest dream. It's a hard dream to accomplish because I need a partner for this dream. I mean, I could just adopt, but it's hard being a single father. It's hard being a single parent. So, partner would be very helpful. And that actually will lead into the main topic of this episode. But yeah, other than that, yesterday was pretty fine. Oh, well, I'm lying to you now. I took a test after my first workday as a teacher. It's a test called the Principles of Learning Theories, and I was not confident in my score. There were so many questions on there that I'm like, what? What? I had to make a lot of educated guesses. I had to like not jump to conclusions, but use inferences in the sentence or the question itself to kind of guess what the answer could have been. Overall, I'm not feeling too good about that test. And I'm dreading the results. I'm hoping that I did pass, but this is one of the first tests in a very long time where I am not super duper confident that I did pass. So that's a bummer. And then after that, that's when I went to Applebee's with some friends. We ate, we drank, we opened up, we talked a lot. And then I started reflecting again. So, if you remember yesterday, I talked about how I reconnected with an old fling and we became friends again. I recently found out from the friend that I tried to talk to, her friend that I tried to talk to, who's in my friends group too. I found out from her that apparently she's dating somebody. She has a boyfriend. Now I know what you're thinking. Tony, come on, man. Don't be jealous that she has a boyfriend. You weren't even trying to go after her. Why do you care? Truthfully, and I really mean this because I feel like people jump to a conclusion that you're just jealous that somebody is with somebody else. And that's not the case. Genuinely speaking, I don't care that she has a boyfriend. What bothered me was I specifically asked her if there was anything new with her life, hoping to hear if there was somebody in her life now. That was actually the intention of my question because I wanted to see if she found somebody, you know? Now, did I have other ulterior motives behind asking that questions? Maybe. Maybe I wanted to know if she was as lonely as I was, or maybe she moved on. I don't know. But I was hoping she would mention if she did have a boyfriend. It's only fair. But also, she made a great point, and I also agree with this point that it's not any of my damn business to know that she has a boyfriend. Why does it matter? I'm not really friends with her. I'm not like deeply entrenched in her life. That's privileged information that if she didn't feel comfortable sharing, she didn't have to share with me. And that's perfectly fine. But I don't know, it bothered me. It still bothers me that she wouldn't tell me. Cause what reason would she have not to tell me? Why not tell me? What was you were you scared to hurt my feelings? I hadn't talked to you in 8 months. I don't think there's any feelings, or at least no romantic feelings there anymore. I literally called out of genuine desire to apologize, or a genuine desire to seek forgiveness. Not because you know what, I missed us and I want us to happen again. That was not the intent of the call. The call was hey, I thought about what we went through and what we did with each other, and I felt like I was a complete asshole to you. So again, it bothers me why she wouldn't tell me. I'm not bothered by the fact that she has a boyfriend. All I'm happy for her. That's great. She deserves a good man, and I hope he's good to her. But I mean, if we're trying to be friends, if we're literally trying to be friends, isn't this something that friends would like bring up? Or is it just like if it's a boy, you have to stifle some of your conversation back. If it's a girl, you got to stifle some of your conversation back. I don't know. It bothers me because the degree of friendship between the sexes, it always bothered me exactly what you could talk about and what you could not talk about. If you're friends, you should feel open enough to talk about anything and everything. Maybe, well, let's not talk about sex, sure. But I'm saying, like, if I'm truly your friend, why didn't you tell me? I would have rooted for you. I would have been happy for you. I don't know. It bothers me to this day that she didn't mention this. Although it surprisingly, it's not as shocking that she did hide this from me, because considering what she did in the past, it's kind of in her nature to hide certain things if she's not comfortable opening up about them, especially when it comes to guys that she's romantically involved in. I found out from that same friend that she actually lied about knowing me. So it it is kind of in her nature not to tell people like that. But we both just see friendships very differently. She sees, okay, friendships are these, and these are things I don't talk about with my friends, or at least not like casual friends, and then these are things I can't talk about with casual friends. For me, I just like, well, whatever happening in my life, I'll share with a friend if it's not too graphic or too sensitive or too intimate or personal. But I guess that leads me to the main point of this video, which is funny. I'm getting to the main point 12 minutes into the video, which, when thinking about her having a boyfriend, I'm not going to lie, it made me think about my relationships and my past relationships and how many of my exes are in successful relationships. I had four people that I was intimate with in the last year and a half, two of which are in the United States. I don't know what they're doing, nor do I care to really know what they're doing. One of them is in the Philippines, and then one is here. And, I think to myself, man, I wonder if they're in successful relationships now. And it also makes me think, am I a failure at romance? Not an all around failure. I know I'm not an all around failure. I mean, I had a successful YouTube channel for many years. I graduated from college. I became a teacher. I've been teaching for 4 years. I was the coach for an ACB team that went number one this year. The dance crew that I advised, they were like number one or number two in many of the categories that they were in their competition. I've been passing my graduate classes. You know, I worked in the media here in Guam for many years and gained a lot of success from that and a lot of notoriety on the island, to the point where sometimes I just be walking in an area and someone would recognize me and say, "Aren't you that guy that did those movie review things on, Sorensen?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." I still get those to this very day. I host many conventions and host many nerd events, and all of them have been rather successful. I'm going to be doing one in 2 weeks. So, am I a failure overall? No. I'm as far from a failure in that regard as we are from the sun. All right. But then I think about my successes in romance. And now things get a little bit tricky because My if I had a batting average for success to failure ratio when it comes to my romances, I'd be I'd be in a very low percentile, like maybe in the 20% with success rate. I mean, 80% failure. And I was reflecting about this last night. It made me really sad, guys. I was like super depressed about it. Maybe it was the alcohol finally getting to me, or maybe it was just my moment of reflection. But it hit me, and I was actually going to record this video last night, but I said, you know what? No, let me sleep it off. Maybe if I sleep it off, maybe I won't feel as depressed as I did last night. And when I wake up in the morning, I'll feel more refreshed and I'll be totally fine. No, no, it didn't help. I woke up and I felt the same way. I was still thinking the same thing. Am I a failure at romance? I mean, I just think about it, man. Like, every girl that I asked out personally in high school, they all rejected me. All of them. The two girls that I was intimate with in high school, they all, it happened almost accidentally. The first girl, I was in a play and I had no desire to be with her. I thought I was not going, there was no way she was going to look my way, is what I was thinking. Lo and behold, she looked my way. Surprise, surprise. The second girl, we bonded over a mutual depression. She was cheated on. I felt like I was backstabbed, even though I wasn't really backstabbed. We weren't really dating, but I felt betrayed. And through our emotional trauma, through our sadness, we found joy in each other. Those were the two most successful relationships I had in high school. One of them now is married and she has kids and she's doing beautifully, by the way. I still talk to her now and again. We're still good friends. We ended she was probably the only successful relationship I had that ended on good terms. Because I realized that, because keep in mind, I was a senior when I started dating her and she was a sophomore. And I was like, okay, well, this can't work. I'm going off to college, you're staying here. If you're going to worry about what I'm doing in college and I'm going to worry about what you're doing in high school, that's not helpful for any of us. So why don't we just mutually agree to break up? You can continue your life and find love somewhere else, and I'll continue my life and find love somewhere else. Now, of course, she was more successful than I was, and that's not a point of jealousy. I'm super happy for her. And we still remain friends to this day. I call her now and again just to see how she's doing. And I saw her before I came back to Guam in 2017. I met her boyfriend at the time, now her husband, and he was a wonderful man. And they have three beautiful children. The first one, I know she's in Chicago somewhere. I don't talk to her as much. I'm sure she's doing well. She's in the theater scene, and I'm happy for her. I'm glad she's doing well. But every girl that I was chasing after, they all ended terribly, or not in. Yeah, actually, no, they did end terribly. Now that I think about it, yeah, they all did. They all ended terribly to the point where I wasn't even friends with them after the fact. Yeah, yeah. College was not helpful either. Although I kind of blame myself for not being adventurous enough to put myself out there. I had opportunities. I'm sure I did, but I was so unwilling to get out of my comfort zone that I decided not to take those chances, even though college is the perfect time to take these chances. Guys, please, guys, to you, ladies, gentlemen, if you're in college and you are single, take a chance. This goes back to that second video, man. Don't stay in the box, guys. Take a chance. When you stay in the box, you don't grow. That's what I would tell my past self. I'm like, Tony, I get it. You want to do the anime thing, you want to do the YouTube thing. That's great. Keep doing it. But take a chance, man. Put yourself out there. I didn't do that. I stayed in my little box. I didn't change who I really was. And I failed romantically for it. And then, after college, not so successful either, Coming to Guam, not so successful either. The first girlfriend I ever had was someone that was kind of given to me by a friend. She like, I have this cousin. You should talk to her. And then that's how that happened. That's how I got my first girlfriend. Second girlfriend I met on Tinder. Third girlfriend met on uh OK Cupid, I think. Or no, it was another app. I forgot what it was. But it wasn't Tinder. Fourth one met on Tinder. But each of them I just felt like I either I did too much or I didn't do enough. Or I just made bad choices. The first girlfriend was a bad choice. She wholeheartedly was a bad choice. I learned from it, sure, but I mean, it came at a cost, literally and mentally and personally. It taught me a lot, but again, it came at a high cost. The second one also came at a cost. I experienced something that I didn't think I would ever experience in my life. Maybe one day I'll share that with you, but I'm not comfortable sharing that with you just yet. But I was shocked when I found out about it. I'm like, whoa, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I scared her away. I definitely scared her away with my, how do I word this properly? I scared her away with my romantic aggression. I don't think that's the right phrase for it. I came off too intense there. My romantic intensity is a better way of putting it. Because I'm not going to lie, guys. I jumped the gun. I said I loved you, or I said I loved her like 3 weeks into the relationship, which, knowing her now, that's scary for her. The fact that she stayed with me for an extra 2 weeks is, hats off to her. The other one in the Philippines, we were successful. We were good. I just don't feel like we ended on good terms. And she, at this point, is my biggest regret, romantically speaking. But at the same time, I always contemplate, did I make the right choice? And all the time, it's yes. I made the right choice breaking up with her. Because there was no future with us. She's in the Philippines, I'm on Guam. There was no chance for her to move out here. There was no way in hell I was moving over there. So how could a relationship with a person you've never met in your life, I never met her in person. How can that relationship thrive if it's just online? It can't. There needs to be some form of connectivity on a physical level. But she was, and when I look back at it, she was the best girlfriend I ever had. And I never met her personally. Wow, that says a lot, doesn't it? Damn, that says a lot. And then the last one is the girl that I reconnected with recently. I mean, you already know that story. I think back, I look at all of these. I look at it in the grander scale, guys. And I'm like, man, am I a failure romantically? I mean, look at me now. I'm still single. And I get it. That's not such a unique position to be in. I mean, there are a plethora of guys and gals out there that are as single, as lonely, as sad as I am. I'm not unique in this scenario. I get that. But man, it's a, it's a, it's a terrible feeling to feel alone in a crowd. Think of that. You feel alone in a crowd. That's actually one of the most poignant phrases I ever heard or that I ever contemplated. The idea of you can still be lonely even though there's so many people around you. It's like the concept of there's so much water around you, but it's salt water. It wouldn't help you anyway. You're dying of thirst, and yet there's so much. It's again, it's that famous phrase, right? Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. People, people everywhere, but not a intimate connection to be seen. You can be alone in a crowd. Just because there's a bunch of people surrounding you, and you may know some of them, does not mean that you feel connected. You're not that you don't feel lonely. And there are different types of lonely. No, maybe you're just lonely for friendship. You're lonely for romance. You're lonely for just a bunch of people to be around you, right? I'm lonely in the romantic sense, and I'm like Zoidberg in Futurama. I got all of this male jelly, and I damn that's whoa. Can I make a retraction there? Retraction. The analogy I was trying to make is that I have so much love in me. I have so much of these romantic ideas and romantic feelings, but I have nobody to share it with. It's like the artist with all these great ideas, but nobody gives them a canvas to paint on. It's like a filmmaker that writes all these great stories, but has no filmmaking equipment to use. It's a terrible feeling. So, am I a romantic failure or am I a failure at romance? It's hard to say no to it. I mean, based on my track record, I don't know. It's a rhetorical, by the way, it's a rhetorical question. It's a rhetorical question. And remember what I said earlier I'm fine. I'm dealing with it, guys. The thing about me when it comes to when I'm in these depressive states, I I get depressed, sure, yes. I'm not denying this fact, but the way that I cope with the depression is that I reflect on it. I reflect on it a lot. I think about it a lot. And then I just move on from there. I don't try to linger too much, but I I just want you guys to know I am fine. I promise you I'm fine. I will get over this. It's like again, another favorite phrase of mine, or I guess it's like kind of like a what would they call it? It's a saying. It's a saying. A king asked a poet to come up with a line that would make him both happy and sad. And the next day, the poet came up to him, and all he said to the king was, "This too shall pass." And the king thought about it. He's like, "Oh, damn. He's right." Moments of sadness, immense sadness, you feel it a lot, but that moment will pass and you will feel happiness again. But in the same token, you can feel immense happiness at one point, but even that happiness will subside. That too will pass, and you'll go back to the sadness. I live by that mantra a lot. I was very happy the last few days. Now that happiness has left me, and now I'm feeling a little bit sadder. You know, that too shall pass. And this sadness that you're seeing from me, this too shall pass. In fact, I'm going to have a wonderful day today. I'm meeting with the Rainbow family. They're going to talk about their plans for this year, and I cannot wait to see my kids again. I hope they're all doing well. Then I'm hanging out with the ACB team. We're going to be doing an escape room. That's awesome. And then I'm going to go watch my friend do a 24-hour play. Well, it's like they set up for 24 hours and then they do the big play uh, at the end. So I'm gonna go watch his play, and I can't wait to see him. This is the first time I'm gonna see him perform. That's exciting. So yes, I'm sad right now, guys. Obviously, I feel like a failure at romance because all of my past relationships, most of them ended in complete disaster, or they ended pretty badly, and they left me alone, sad, crying in a pool of my own piss. Right? But that feeling will subside one day. Well, it might subside in the next few hours. Who knows? But it will not last. And I guess that's the one caveat I want you to take away from this is that yes, I'm sad. I'm emotional. I'm depressed. But I don't let that cripple me. I don't let that cripple me. Now, for some people, it's harder. I get it. Crippling depression is a real thing. Depression is a real thing. I don't care what anyone says. And some people just cannot cope, or they just weren't taught good coping skills. Or even worse, most people were told to bottle it up and can express those depressive feelings. Express them. Let them out. Let the genie out of the bottle, guys. I promise you, you'll feel much better if you just let it out. You'll feel much better if you just let it out. That's why these videos exist. This is my way of letting out some of those pent up frustrations, some of those pent up emotions that I just can't express all the time. And now I can because I have the vlogs. And you get to watch me as I spiral out of control on either ends. Very highs, very lows. I guess this video was kind of all over the place, but the point is that I'm still growing. I may be turning 30 soon, but that doesn't mean that I have no more room to grow. That doesn't mean that I don't have any room to change, be a better person, and maybe even find that special person. Who knows? Maybe I will. Or, if you want to be negative, maybe I won't. It's possible. I mean, the probability is high. I mean, that sucks to say. I'll make it though. I'll make it. I have wonderful friends. They're all very supportive of me. I have a wonderful mother who gets on my damn nerves a lot, but she means well. My brother is always there for me. I have many friends that are very supportive. I have a school that not only depends on me, but trusts me to not only do my work, but even to guide the kids of the school. JFK never did not have to take me back. I'm a limited term teacher. They could have just picked somebody else. But they invested in me, they believed in me, they trusted me. That's rare. And because of what they did, they have a loyal teacher for a lifetime. I would never betray JFK. After all they've done for me, I would never. You see, those are those little caveats, guys, those little glimmers of hope. There's still a chance. There's still something great out there. You just gotta look for it. Don't let the depression win. Don't let it beat you. Embrace the depression, let it flow through your body, and then let it out. Like a deep breath. That's the depression going in. You just let it back out. Okay? Good? Are we good? Man, 33 minutes long. Jesus. I'm just making a bunch of long episodes these days. Sorry. I do apologize for the lengths. I was trying to keep these or said podcast again. Trying to keep these vlogs to at least a 16 to 20-minute minimum. Moving forward, I'll be more cognizant of the time so that this doesn't happen. Or maybe, maybe you like the longer forms. I don't know. Either way, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I can't answer the question that this video poses. I personally feel as though I am, but that doesn't have to be the end of my story. Maybe I can change that mentality. Maybe I could change that perspective. Maybe I'm not actually a failure. I just have been making poor choices that led to failure. Maybe if I make better choices, I'll be more successful. Stop falling into the same pit traps that I always fall into, chasing after people that clearly do not want to be chased. Going after women that are just not emotionally available or not do not share that same energy that you share. Maybe I need to just get out of my comfort zone and go after people that aren't the typical people I go after. That could be something I could try. You know, there are methods I can take. It's not over. I may not actually be a failure. I just maybe haven't tried other methods. And now I will. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry that this video is 35 minutes long. Hopefully, you got something out of it. And hopefully, you found it interesting. Fourth episode. That We're 6 away from 10, guys. We're 6 away from 10. Maybe we will get to that 10th episode, actually. I'm excited if we could get to that 10th episode. Anywho, I've talked enough. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys just letting me vent. You're just, I guess it's like therapy in a sense. But I appreciate this. And that reading your comments, by the way, and that should be one of my episodes too, reading the comments of my past vlogs. Because I've been reading your comments and I'm touched by the fact that a lot of you find some comfort, relief, or even you take something away from my vlogs. That's awesome. That's exactly why these vlogs exist. So I'm delighted to hear that you are gaining something from them. So thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. I hope you keep doing that. And I hope that my videos aren't fucking 36 minutes long. So thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling with me. I'll be back again to talk about what my Saturday, because today is Saturday, what my Saturday was in my next episode. Talk about the Rainbow Family. I'll talk about the escape room. I've never done an escape room. I'm really excited to try this escape room. But till then, guys, I'll see you soon. And remember, keep living life.